Party people, what's good, man? Fat Boy Finesse family. Listen, I hope you all are having a magnificent Monday. Today is actually Monday. I just want to jump right into it. I thought about going live. I thought about posting this on IG, TikTok, whatever. But I figured, hey, why not just go ahead and have this conversation specifically on YouTube? I really want to talk about everything, and I want to be careful how I say this. Everything that's wrong with like Frag Comm, like the fragrance community. First of all, I'm excited about the things that are going on. And that kind of sounds crazy. Like, how you gonna come up here and say everything is wrong, everything that's wrong with the Frag Comm fragrance community, and then be like, I'm excited to be a part? Nah, that's just really kind of what I want to talk about, because in order to talk about what's wrong, I think you got to talk about what's right. You know what I'm saying? So even though that may be polarizing, yeah, that's it. And for those of you who aren't used to hearing me do a lot of talking, like, I love context. So I'm gonna try to keep this video under like 10 minutes. I'm gonna do my best to keep this video under 10 minutes. But like I said, if you know me, you know that's probably gonna be a challenge because I have a lot to say, but I'm gonna try to minimize it. But I love being part of the fragrance community. I don't consider myself to be a reviewer. I don't consider myself to be a hobbyist. I'm an enthusiast. You know, I know there are a lot of big players in the community that have been here for years, and some of y'all that got collections over like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 bottles, which is absolutely crazy. I'm not mad at it. I'm not knocking it, but I'm a little over 100 bottles right now, and I think my collection is okay. I think my next 100 will be very specific. It will be very catered, very much more mature. You know what I'm saying? One of the things we say on the content creation side, like podcasting, for example, or YouTube, you know, it really takes 100 videos to really kind of get your flow, to kind of figure out what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's an old adage, may not necessarily still be the case, but I think 100 bottles in, I don't think it takes 100 bottles of cologne to really find out, you know, where you fit in. I think, 10 to 20 is enough. And then after that is just for the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. I love that everybody has a chance to just be able to get in where you fit in. You know, I love that there are all types. I love that you have the people who have one bottle, who are just getting started. I love the fact that you have people who have like 10 bottles, 20 bottles. And then I love the fact you have people that have hundreds of bottles on cologne. I can never see myself getting to that point of having thousands. I love it. I like it. I don't know. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I think it's that deep for some people, but then again, I don't know. But I love the fact that, you can get in where you fit in. I love that the community is so open. I love that it's so polarizing and so subjective. You know what I'm saying? Fragrance is one of those things that's kind of like makeup. Anytime we talk about hygiene, you're talking about chemistry. So everybody's body chemistry is different. You know, the way your skin is made, like I have oily skin, like I'm an oily dude. You know what I'm saying? And so the way things sit on my skin is going to be different from somebody who has dry skin or combination skin or whatever. The way you moisturize may be different than the way I moisturize. I think there are some just specific rules to the thumb. That's just like take a bath. What you use to moisturize may be depending on, if you have eczema or something like that. But yeah, just how about we just wash first? I think we can all agree that that's necessary. And then we can talk about moisturization techniques and all of those different types of things. But it's subjective. You know what I'm saying? So, opinions are like, rectums. Everybody has one, and everybody is entitled to their opinion. I think the dangerous thing, and this is what I'm coming to, is when we start to sway people, is when you start to sway people to where people are taking sides, and not for the love of the game, but they getting offended. You know how like you be in the barbershop and you see people that argue, who's the greatest, Jordan, you know what I'm saying, or LeBron. And then you have those people like myself, the Kobe fans that are like, when did LeBron jump Kobe? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, people be about to come to blows, be about to fight. They be like, Mike ain't never did nothing for me. I love Kobe, RIP, Bing, that's my GOAT. Never did anything for me. LeBron never done anything for me. It's people who have died over over Michael Jordan's shoes. And I'm like, for what? For the sake of what? Not for the love of the game, but because it's a status symbol. And I think this is the biggest thing that's wrong with Frag Comm, just like a lot of other communities, because we don't know how to separate subjectivity from emotion. And we don't know how to be objective and just be in love with fragrance, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I love the fact that it's subjective to the person, but then I hate the fact that it's subjective to that person, because depending on who the person is, they have the ability to sway the community in one direction or the other. That holds weight. And I don't know if you've seen the movie Malcolm X, and when they got, the brother out of jail and the Nation of Islam was marching down the street, and then the police chief or the cop, was talking about Denzel. He was like, that's too much power for one man. And honestly, it's too much power. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, some of y'all can't help that you've been able to get to the status that you've get to. No shade whatsoever. I love it. Rock out. But I think when it's like the sneaker conversation we used to have back in the day about whether you could wear fake Jordans, fake Timbs, all these different types of things. And to me, it's whack for a grown man, to be checking another man's pockets based on what he puts out there on the internet. Like all dude buy is dupes or clones, so he must be broke. What difference does it make? Like, why are you checking this man's pockets? Because why? Because it's a status symbol. So you have some people that's like, oh, I only wear Bond. Not because they love the way that Bonds are made and because Bond does ambroxan like no other fragrance house. They just think because, oh, it's Bond, I got to have him. Like, bro, or I got to have Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying? Or some of these people that's like, I got to have Tom Ford. And it's like, bro, everything in the line doesn't even smell good. You have things that you wear. Like, for example, and I want to get to this later, but I'm going to show this right now. Like, you know how you have people that have sneaker collections and they don't ever wear their sneakers and then the sneakers start to rot? Like, people treat fragrance like that. So you have people that might have 50 bottles of Bond, 50 bottles of Creed, 50 bottles of Tom Ford. Tom Ford don't even have that many fragrances, I think. But like, they'll be full. You see this bottle of F9, 9 p.m., that's a dent. That's a dent in that fragrance. You know why? Because I actually wear it. I wear it. It's not for the sake of being like, yo, I got that. But I actually wear it. And I think that's the thing, man. That's one of the things I hate and I think that's wrong with Frag Comm is fragrance instead of for the love of the game and just falling in love with the fact that I can wear something in the spring, I can wear something in the fall, I can wear something in the summer, I can wear something in the winter. I can fall in love with notes. I can fall in love with bergamot and cardamom and cashmere and patchouli and vetiver. You know what I'm saying? White florals and yang, and all these different things. I can fall in love with these notes. I can fall in love with these accords to make these wood, musky, amber, vanilla filled type fragrances that just make me feel good. Because for me, it's really about a mental health thing. And when I say mental health, I think for a man, like haircut and clothes and cologne to a man is makeup for women. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is that when you look good, when you smell good, you feel better about yourself. And when you feel better about yourself, you project that. But a lot of times, some of us, we're masking, we're hiding insecurity. And so we try to project, you know what I'm saying, our dominance over other people by just going along with hype and buying stuff just for the sake of saying we got it. And I'm like, bro, that don't even smell good. Like, I know 20-year-olds that be wearing Tom Ford ombre leather. And I'm like, why? Like, come on, bro. All right. But nevertheless, again, I think the blessing and the curse is the subjectivity. And to go along with that, going back to the F9 9 p.m., I think the other biggest thing, and I'm going to try to wrap this up, it goes with everything I've said. Like this whole thing we got going on right now, like OGs versus clones versus dupes. I'm not going to say what difference does it make because I have an appreciation for the OG. I'm going to just set the record straight for those of you who don't know me, and I'm introducing myself again. My name is Walter Jeanette. Some of you know me from the content creation side, talking about lights, cameras, video. That's why I'm set up like I'm set up. That's me. And so I love fragrances. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I talk about. Or this is what I'm, starting to talk about now. I think I put my first video out a year ago, under the brand Fat Boy Finesse. La Mel Le Parfum was the first fragrance video I put out because that's my absolute favorite fragrance ever. Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Le Parfum. I was like, yo, I think this is the way a man is supposed to smell. Nice, sweet, vanilla, musky scent. But like this whole war between clone, and I wish I had it. I wish I had him in front of me. But this whole war between the OG and clones, you know, clone it or own it. That's a real popular thing. I've seen a lot of videos talking about clone it or own it. And I think it's cool, but I also think it's clickbait. And I think to a degree, because again, there's a lot of subjectivity. But when you take this objective approach, like one is better than the other, okay, that's according to you. That's according to your like. That's according to your taste. I think there are some situations, like I'm going to hold up this F9 9 p.m. again. All right. Again, beautiful bottle. A lot of people compare this to Jean Paul Gaultier, Le Male, Ultra Male. That same DNA, but to me, the projection on this is stronger. I don't think it's 1-to-1, not like 100%, but I think it stands so much on its own where it's like, if you like that, you know what I'm saying, Ultra Male DNA, nobody really buys Ultra Male anymore. People buy this because the projection on this, the longevity on this, the CIH on this, the performance on this is crazy. It's out of this world. This is one of the hype beasts that they actually got right. You know, where people are like, okay, we're talking in the range of 90 to 95%, where it's like, okay, this is Le Male, you know. So I'd rather recommend people buy this than actually buying the OG. But that doesn't negate that the OG still exists. You know what I'm saying? Let's take another one like Latafa Camera. We're talking about all the hype beasts. All right. So we got Latafa Camera. Again, people said this, like, you don't have to buy Angel Share anymore. I don't think that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not necessarily 1-to-1 like it replaces it, but it gives, for people who are just getting into fragrance. And the thing is, and shout out to Dedrick, Tazo, and Ross, who were on the stream the other day kind of talking about this. Dedrick and Ross were talking about Mind Games versus Bodacious as far as like the best cherry fragrances, French Defense versus that. And then Ross got on one of the conversations they were having at the end was about, you know what I'm saying, OGs versus clones or whatever. And so like this right here, if you've never smelled Angel Share, this was so good. This is one of the ones like F9 where it was like, it kind of stands on its own. And you like, yo, if this is good and this is supposed to be mocking Angel Share, then let me go smell what Angel Share smells like. Let me go check that out. You know what I'm saying? But we got another one, another hype beast like Rasasi Hawas. You know what I'm saying? Which basically is supposed to have that Invictus DNA. But to me, that stands on its own. Now, that might be arguably the most hyped fragrance over the past 2 or 3 years, like ever. So, but to me, it doesn't matter. Like, now, I think it matters depending on what level you are. I think if you're a hobbyist, you're just getting introduced, I don't think it matters because you're not going to sway the community. You just like what you like. Somebody introduced you to this, they say, yo, that smells good, check that out. You're like, yo, I love it. When you get to this enthusiast level, kind of like myself, and then you start talking about and wanting to share, you know what I'm saying? Like things in your fragrance collection, you want to start doing that, yada, yada, yada. I think, yeah, okay. Your subjectivity is still your subjectivity, is still your opinion, and you may not necessarily sway, but I think you should, you know what I'm saying, put the caveat out there to be like, hey, I've never smelled the OG before. Or to say, I have the OG, or I used to have the OG. I was going to buy the OG, but somebody introduced me to this, and now I'm kind of like, I love the OG, but honestly, this is, you know, like 90, 95% in the range, 85%, something like that. I can live with that. I think putting disclaimers out there is good, but I think disclaimers should be mandatory, and I think this is the biggest thing wrong with Frag Comm. I think disclaimers should be mandatory for those of us, those of you who have moved into that reviewer status. And you know, every time you pop up on YouTube, every time you pop up on TikTok, every time you pop up on IG, Discord, or wherever you popping up at, every discounter known to mankind sells out of the fragrance. That's what I think is wrong with Frag Comm. I'm not against anybody making any money. Just like I said, I think it's whack for a man to be checking another man's pockets. I feel like women don't have this problem, and correct me if I'm wrong. I really don't. From what I've seen, because women have always been in the fragrance. Like they've always been wearing these scented lotions and body sprays and spritz and all these like Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret made sure that women stayed on the forefront of beauty. Men have always smelled good, but I think as far as talking about it, we really just came to the forefront, I want to say, in the last 5 to 10 years. And statistics, I think it's a statistic I saw from somebody else's, and I've heard this before. I've heard somebody else say this before. Like there's only a small percentage of people who actually wear cologne. And I think it's 1 in 15 every people or 1 in 15 every men actually wear every fragrance. Actually wear fragrance, actually wear some sort of perfume or cologne or whatever, some sort of scent. So I think you have to put out the disclaimer because there are certain people when they go live, when they talk about certain things and the way they present it, I'm like, do you really feel this way? Like I'm coming from the content creator space. So there are a couple of people that we know, like the quote unquote Peter McKinnons of the world, the Think Medias of the world. Like these are people I love. These are people I admired, I idolized growing up. You know, they are like distant mentors. I'm like, yo, I love the way they do content. I love the way they're about their business. Until you get to the point where it's like you're doing the same thing. Like you don't even use this camera. Like the company just sent you this camera because they know you have the ability to sway the community. So they know if you talk about it, oh, well, shoot, if Peter is using that camera, then we going to get an extra, you know what I'm saying, 2,000 to 3,000 orders in on that. We know we're going to get an extra 5,000 orders on that mic. We know we're going to get an extra 10,000. And y'all think it's a game. Like, I'm for real. Same thing in the sneaker community. We idolize what we see other people have. And that's what kind of bothers me because I don't want Frag Comm to turn into the sneaker community. I don't want it to turn into this hype beast that, you know, camera equipment and all of that is. And I think it's everything in life. I mean, the internet is just going, you can't prevent it from happening, but still at the same time, it just sucks. Because again, we can't stay true to the love of the game. We can't have conversations without people getting emotional and getting in their feelings. Like, bro, if you like Camera, like Camera. If you like Angel Share, like Angel Share. No, but don't disrespect the other side. You can like both. Like this, if all you can afford is a decant, okay, get the decant, get the sample. Like, bro, they don't want to call it that, but we've been in a depression for a minute. You can call it recession, but everything is high, bro, and people are depressed, and people are desperate to prove that they're not broke. You know what I'm saying? And people is overcompensating, just crazy stuff. I'm like, do you even wear that, or you just have it? Because here's the reality. Same thing camera companies do. This is what I'm trying to enlighten people. Like, because I'm on the other side. So people like, why? What makes you qualified to say what you're saying? Because I know how affiliate marketing works. That's one thing for sure. That's one thing for sure. Like, I understand what it means to post links and to give people discount codes and why certain companies don't mind sending you things because they already know, oh, we're going to get this back 10 times over. Because if this certain person talks about this certain perfume, this certain cologne, this certain fragrance, it's a hype beast. And the last thing I hate about Frag Comm is, in line with everything I said, is just TikTok. And I'm on TikTok. I post my thoughts and my opinions, my reviews or whatever, my shorts on TikTok or whatever. But this goes back to my last statement. You can look at people's videos, and especially if they're commission-based. I'm like, you can tell people hate when they're being sold to. And that's the biggest thing I hate about Frag Comm. Now, I don't really consider these people to be part of the fragrance community. I consider these people to just be like, they're trying to make a buck. I don't even think they really like it. But they're trying to make sure they get as many clicks on that cart so they can get as much commission off that affiliate partnership as much as possible. And I think that's the issue TikTok started to really cause for YouTube. Because people will be like, oh, I got that TikTok fragrance. I'll be like, bro, like, that's so old. Like, that's so old. Like, do your research. Do your and that's not me hating, because somebody may say the same thing about me. But I'm just saying, like, man. And I said I was going to try to be done in 10 minutes. I told y'all. I've been talking for 20. But again, like I said, I love being part of the community. I love growing. I love sharing my opinion. I love just having dissertation. I love just having conversation. These are things I talk about literally all day, every day. Like with my brother KB, this is all we do. We go back and forth talking about fragrance. I have my other communities where all I do is talk about camera gear and lighting and mics and production and all those different types of things. You know what I'm saying? So those are conversations that I'm bringing to the forefront. That's what qualifies me. So I love the fact that we can be that fragrance is subjective to the person, but I hate the fact when we can get so offended that we put our emotions into things and we start crossing the line of disrespect to be like, nah, bro, you whack. We rocking with the OG. Like, if you can't afford the OG, capiche. Like, what? Like, come on, bro. Like, that's lame. It's 2024. You know what I'm saying? I'm not checking for another man's wallets. You know what I'm saying? And get your money. If you set up to make money off the affiliate, whatever, just put the disclaimer out there and be honest. I know people is sending, we already know people sending you fragrances. We can look at it. Some of y'all post videos 5 minutes. It's got 200 comments and 10,000 views because people is hungry and people is thirsty just to be able to say, yeah, I got that new joint. Come on, bro. Sis, like I said, I don't think females have this problem. If I'm wrong, correct me, but it's something about us men, man. We got to be the king of the jungle, you know? So like what you like. If you like Bond number 9 Lafayette Street, love it. If you like Joe Milano, Game of Spades, Wild Card, love it. You know what I'm saying? If you like, Ultra Male, love it. If you like F9 9 p.m., love it. Like, love what you love. If you like Lamel Elixir, love it. If you like Grandeur Elite, Tribal Gold, love it. Like, love what you love and appreciate what you have, because at any given moment, we could all be broke and it could all be taken away from us. You know what I'm saying? Like, a natural disaster can come through and take your whole collection away. And then what? You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know how fragrances are. Like, my camera gear, it's insured. And I think with certain luxury goods, y'all let me know. I'm pretty sure you can insure some things as far as fragrances maybe or whatever, but I would hope so. Some of y'all spending $300, $400, $500, $600, $900 on certain bottles. I hope you put insurance on it if that's even a thing, if you can. But yeah, if something happens, man, I'm straight. I'm covered. But with fragrance, and that's that deep to me. I'm gonna be hurt. If I lost my fragrance collection that I have now, I'm gonna be hurt. But it's like, nah, I can get that back. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. And I feel like some of us are losing sleep over it, trying to prove a point. So I don't know. Maybe you'll watch it. Maybe you won't. You know what I'm saying? Diatribe for 20-something minutes. Hey, I really just want to engage with you. If you've watched up to this point, as far as I'm concerned, party people, Fat Boy Finesse family, you part of the tribe, you part of the community. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, click that bell so you can be notified every single time I post new content to the channel. Not going to do any editing with this video. I do some on my other channel. I do a series called Uncut. We'll pretty much do the same thing here. We just gonna call it uncut, just like you get if you're into body oils and you get that uncut oil. Yeah, nobody really talks about body oil, fragrance oils, and I have a lot of fragrance oils, so I may bring that to the conversation. But nonetheless, man, just love what you love, and it's okay, and be secure in what you have, and don't look at another man's, wallet collection and be like, just don't pass judgment, because that was you at one point, and that could be you at any given moment. And if you're going to make money. Just, we hate being sold to. So be true. If all you want to do is review just for the sake of getting $1 on the back end, okay, that's cool. I just say that up front. Be like, I don't even really like this. They sent it to me. I'd rather you say that. I understand when it comes to some NDAs and disclosures and affiliates and different things like that, partnerships, you can't say that. That's why I love in the camera community where it's like, yo, you don't know my opinion until I release it. If somebody sends me a review to do, on a microphone, you don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. I will trash a company quick, and not trash them. I'm just tell the truth. If it sucks, it sucks. I'm gonna try to find something I like, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be like, I wouldn't buy this. And you won't see me using it. It'll be over on the shelf. And I think fragrance has the potential to be that same thing. Same thing with sneakers. We get hyped with certain releases, and then you can tell prices and stuff. It'd be like, bro, this ain't even the hype. It's just people want to have stuff in the moment. And if you want to be impulsive, then just say that. But don't allow your power and your inability to just sit tight sway the community to a standpoint where we all up here looking at each other crazy because everybody over here rocking Creed and everybody over here rocking our Moth Club Day Nuit. Get in where you fit in. At the end of the day, just smell good, family. I'll holler at y'all. Y'all be easy.